back to another custom review, and today we're looking at the Transformers Generations Nest Bludgeon. So here he is in a tank mode. Before we look at him, let's take a quick look at the paints. So first off, this was white and gray Tamiya Fine Surface Primer. That's right, it's one of those customs. I had to use both. And then, of course, semi-gloss clear. It'll focus a little. Thank you. As well as some AS14 olive green. It'll focus. Thank you. TS34 camel yellow. TS12 orange. TS29 semi-gloss black, it'll focus, thank you. TS33 dull red. And then XF9 hall red. I did not plan that. And dark green too. X18 semi-gloss black. And red. And then, of course, a mixed color that I actually do remember what I used to make it. It was a bit of flat flesh and some white, because I had to make a bony color. It's Bludgeon. You know there's bone color in here somewhere. But here he is in his tank mode, and just a little quick review of Quake himself. Never bothered picking up Legacy United Quake. I thought if it went on sale, I'd give it a shot. But I never saw it for anything less than $25 to maybe like $23. For some reason, this toy has never gone on sale that much. It is even on Amazon. When I bought this toy off Amazon about a month ago to do this custom, it was still $25. Price has not wavered. And what do I think of it? It does suck. I have Titans Return Quake, and I like that one more. I have no attachment to Quake, so I don't care if it doesn't have the Target Masters or the right alt mode. But because the tank mode on it just looked really bad, and the QC on mine was a complete catastrophe. I had so much to fix on this thing when I got it. But, in terms of this custom, this was the only modern tank that would work. And the reason why is because Revenge of the Fallen Bludgeon, as an original toy, has this neat trick where almost the entire tank mode is just green and black. And it unfolds into all that explosion of orange and red and all of that other stuff. And no other tank really does it. This one doesn't completely do it, but it did it enough. Because my first thought was Brawl, but Brawl wears his tank mode on his sleeves, which, mad respect for the man. But it's not what I need. And of course, most of the other tanks we have in Generations right now is like sci-fi tanks or Megatronus, where it's just, no, it just doesn't work for what I need. This is the only one that kind of worked. And I think it does. I also think in these colors, the tank mode, like, it doesn't fix the problems, trust me. But I think it makes it less obvious. Because it's green and black, and it all just kind of fades together. Of course, we got the giant yellow chest plate here. That kind of sucks, and I honestly wish I would have put a little more paint on this turret. It's so bare. But I was like, oh, I'll make it look like a real tank. Ignore the giant yellow thing on the back. This is a real tank. Even the hands, I have that, like, the only bit you can see a little bit of orange peeking there. But I left these hinges black so it would hide it, and a little bit of maroon sticking out. But I mean, otherwise, it works. I think this looks better than Quake's deco. Though that isn't saying much, because this is still pretty bad. But for this custom, it works. I also forgot to mention, I used some right dye synthetic graphite dye, which I will talk about more in robot mode, of course, because you can't see most of what I dyed here. Or at least in detail. But, yeah, I mean, it's Quake's tank mode, alright. Like, the little dark green bits I put on the side here as a nod to the original toy, because he has, like, some, like, darker green painted bits on the side of the tank, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of do that right there. It's like the only spot that color shows up on his entire toy and on this one. So, they have that in common. But anyways, let's go ahead and get him into his robot mode. And here in robot mode, I think this mold honestly shines. Like Quake's tank mode is just kind of an utter failure, but I think robot mode was pretty good. I had pretty bad QC on mine, like I mentioned earlier, but I was able to fix it. But as terms of the custom, I think the colors make it look even better. Now, the only things that remain on here from Quake would be the gray on the arms, and then the kind of maroony color, which those are still there because I simply could not take that apart to dye them and to spray paint them. It would not have worked out because I couldn't get the thighs off of anything, and the hips will not come off of the waist from how it's designed, because it is designed to have both a one-directional flathead pin and a screw, which is just symbolic of Hasbro hating me and every customizer out there. Anyways, here he is, and I think he looks beautiful. A little close-up on the head, because that is the major thing that I did change here. Now, this is still Quake's head. I just kind of sanded the face to look like more of a skull, which this is a very basic skull. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is, I did not make for this to look like it's, you know, super detailed. I'm not that kind of talented, but I think it's okay. It's a bit more of like a smaller, more basic Bludgeon. I still think it gets the point across pretty well. Also, if you see a lot of these like little nicks of different extra colors down here, you got some baked into the orange. I want to give it a bit of a, I try to give it a little bit of a grungier look in a few areas. Not sure how well it worked, mainly just on these little armored tread pieces and these little vents in the chest and then on the head, just because I thought it would look kind of neat. I didn't want to do the entire toy because I still wanted to fit the general aesthetic of this line, but we live on. I think it's fun. I like it. It makes him look seasoned, and he should be. So the parts I dyed would be the shoulders, this black part of the chest, this little tiny bit here, these bits on the waist, dyed with those little hip pieces. I mean, I dyed those because those could come out. I mean, God. And I think that was it. I don't think anything else on here is dyed. Which I think them just being black makes sense. I did have this whole idea, because I dyed these black for the tank mode, because the other side of them comes out in the tank mode, and I figured the black would blend in pretty well. And I did have this crazy idea at one point to kind of like try to do some orange on this side to make it look more like the chests, and make it look more like the Revenge of the Fallen shoulders. And then I realized all of that effort would be kind of dumb. It'd be way too detailed at that point. So we left it be. I think it fits his aesthetic. His whole thing is the color pop of that chest, which I forgot that color was more of a yellow than an orange. I know it's called camel yellow, but it's like more orangey on the bottle. But I do still think it fits Bludgeon. There are versions of him that have like yellow on the chest instead, so look, I use the Revenge of the Fallen as a baseline for these, and then I import my own style. None of these are meant to be wholly accurate. I do try to go for some details when I can. And speaking of such, here is regular Bludgeon, because mine has not disintegrated yet. And we can see a few of the details, like I mentioned, the leg armor thing, which is just, I love that it's there, thank God. That's another reason I picked this mold. Because that's like one of the coolest things to me, is how like they use the treads as part of the leg armor. It just goes hard. But yeah, there's that. Orange on the hands. And that's pretty much it. Bludgeon's a very specific design. You can't really match Baver's stuff anyways. It's really hard to do. But I think I got the general gist across on this guy. I think it kind of fits the Bludgeon-y vibe. There was also a version of this where it was going to be the Bludgeon that was like the wreckage repaint. Like I thought about just doing this based on that, but then I realized that'd be boring. There's nothing going on there. He's just a guy. He's just a guy without any of his cool stuff. You gotta give him his cool stuff. And speaking of cool stuff, this isn't one thing, but it's a sword. It's the only decent sword I had for him, and it's such an off shade of green. And I couldn't paint it because it's a handle. You know, it's got a hold of it. I think it scales pretty well with him though. I really just did not have any regular other swords. But to bring in his comrades, let's do the whole little Decepticon lineup here. Here he is with Mind Wipe. Megatron was too far back to grab, but here he is anyway. Ooh. Come on. There we go. We love each other here. We're all in this together, gang. And I do think this unit just looks really cool. I do love how these three came out together as a squad. Like they each have their own little thing going on. I love the insignias. There's Megatron, since I got the stickers after I did his video. But I do think they all look quite lovely together. I like how they all have like a weird shade of green too. Like Megatron has this weird shade, Mind Wipe has this weird shade, and then Bludgeon just has that little patches of dark green on his tank mode. And just he's green too, so. The Decepticons, they all got green. They greened out. They greened together. But yeah, I do think as a unit, these guys just look solid. And I love... My favorite one's probably still Megatron that I've done out of all of these customs. Because there is one more that I've already done. That'll probably be next week's video. If I can put out a video that week, we hope and pray. But... Bludgeon's probably my second favorite I've done so far in this line. I just like Bludgeon a lot. Like he's just cool. I have no lore reasons to like this character. It's just I like the Revenge of the Fallen toy a lot. That's the gist. Because it's from those days where you didn't have to like the character. It's just a cool toy. So anyways, that is pretty much all I have to say. So please be sure to check out my channel for more video and custom reviews. And please remember to subscribe. You can also come check out my Facebook and Twitter pages. Links in the description below. And it's the 14th Prime, signing out.